The mic sound nice. Yeah, I already know what time it is.
Stoop kid had a block part of my mind crash. Changed from nickel and diamond, letting that time pass. City never sleeps, can't think slow with crime fast. In them with the shits, but should've spent more time in class. I came up poking them holes in the stash spots. Plenty had pot, smoking all day with the have-nots. Thick half dots all day, beef or ass shots. Either pitching ball and rap, picking pockets or padlocks. But if I ever pitch white, I'll be a league major. Cook the pies with sweet love, I'ma need a baker. Grew up with no uproar about the fiend shaking. Never check for a prayer like they need saving. It's cold, but the coroners will come and zip you up. Missing what? Shots through your window make you a sitting duck. From a place that use bridges and water for weights. Ass dollar mistake, it might just be dialing your fate. My bitch is bougie, too moody around you hoes that's broke. Laryngoscopy, baby, I need all that throat. Nickname me Chimney, I want all that smoke. Blue magic on wax, bitch, I am that dope. Seen fam cutting up Taylor Swift with the Metro. Fuck if rappers turn up tempo, I'm not impressed though. Reagan era coke, baby, smoke crazy. Seen the blood money, so fuck up the streams. Don't pay me, nigga, nice sticks. Making 50 or caught in the Lucy's. Put a beat inside a blender, really make a smoothie. Put a raw stick to your bitch, ain't talking sushi. Bullets become Allen keys, you talking loosely chill. Fuel color-coded flame like a big lighter. Age understanding cipher had it since the diaper. I'm trying to hold up for a get it shorty knocked up. This Billy Jean.
You. It's your boy Chill Murray. Y'all tune into another episode live from the Spot Podcast. Again, I'll name this shit later. What episode 2 is or whatever. Y'all already know my name, Chill Murray. Yul J. Harrison. Trying to get this one knocked out early in the morning today. Reason why is because I got an interview later. Then I still got a stream. I got to catch up with some homework too. Excuse me. I got to catch up with homework at school. Yeah, shit to do. Wife and kids. Kids fully here today. Friday. TGI fucking F. It's Friday. We are a week into 2021, man. And shit has gotten crazy. Around this time last year, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Shout out to Vanessa Bryant and the whole Bryant family. We lost the Black Mamba, the great legend. And we're a week into 2021, and motherfuckers is jumping through windows and climbing walls. The irony of the wall climbing, by the way. The fucking irony of Trump supporters climbing a wall after his ass said they wanted to build a wall. We saw people getting shot. All this over someone being scared of losing. We are looking at I'm not going to get too far into the rabbit hole, but we are looking at a good staging of the Civil War, so to speak. And it was kind of interesting to see. Shout out my boy Eve. Eve actually had posted the video, and like I said, not gonna get too far into it, but posted the video that's circulating around of the woman being shot by supposedly the Secret Service agent, allegedly. And I had the same theory, the same thought. Somebody is firing shots across a window. Somebody just got hit. So the rest of y'all just standing around this woman. Nobody's running. I don't know about y'all, but from the hood, dude, you see people busting shots, especially if you don't have something to bust back with, you run. Yeah, we gonna stand there and try to help up the homie that got hit, but it's not a thing where everybody's just like, oh my god, she's been shot. Let's keep moving forward. Or let's just stand around. I'm not even talking about the people that was helping the lady up or trying to help the or assist the woman while she was dying. I'm talking about the people that was just standing there while he was still shooting. Y'all don't see that as odd at all. Y'all don't see it odd, and my wife brought this up. Y'all don't see it odd that there was a huge lack of security that day, ironically. On the day of the fucking Senate votes, it was a lack of security? Sounds like an inside job to me. But like I said, we won't get too much into that rabbit hole once again. Um, Happy Friday to everybody. I know some of y'all. I know the people that are at work can't wait to fucking get home and start their weekend. Shout out to the people that work on the weekend. I used to be one of those people that work on Saturday. I'm actually gonna be going back to doing that very shortly, depending upon what I decide to do. Just doing things, just doing it to help out things right now. But because as y'all know, the things are looking very good from TuneCore. Shout out to TuneCore, been helping me out lately also. Um, but yeah, man, the world is fucking crazy already. We are once again a week into 2021, and shit is happening. We got supposedly, I think it was a UFO in Hawaii or something like that, a confirmed one. Again, I mean, there's always been confirmed like UFOs and things like that, but I'm waiting for the big light show. And some of y'all that do y'all research know what I'm talking about. Waiting for the big light show to happen. Um, I don't know what else we got going on. I tried to talk about it on the last podcast actually. Um, what happened to Dr. Dre? Um, God bless, prayers out to Dr. Dre. I did see a post recently where he is doing quite okay now. He is doing very good now. Excuse me. From his recent brain aneurysm. Well, y'all, some of y'all know what brain aneurysms actually are, and for those of you that don't, I was kind of ignorant to it at first because when I first heard about the term brain aneurysm, I was a young kid, so I thought it was just an intense headache that you can manifest from stress and things like that. But it's actually just not just, but it's a weakness in the blood vessel in the brain that balloons and fills with blood. So you can only imagine the intense amount of pain and pressure a person feels. That's right by their temple, by the way. Most intracranial aneurysms occur between the underside of the brain and the base of the skull. Like I said, it's right there by the temple. It's a very severe part. If you actually get hit hard the temple, everyone knows you'll actually die. The aneurysm can actually leak or rupture, causing life-threatening and bleeding. And an unruptured aneurysm usually causes no symptoms, but a key symptom of a ruptured aneurysm is a sudden severe headache. That's just the least of your worries, a severe headache. But treatments for an unruptured aneurysm include medications to blood pressure and procedures to prevent a future rupture. Emergency medical care is needed for a ruptured aneurysm. So once again, huge prayers out to Dr. Dre. Couldn't start 2021 off losing a legend like Dr. Dre. Is all I'm saying. That would have been very tragic for us to lose someone like that in the culture that means that much to not just hip hop but music in general, in my opinion. Hope he has a very, very speedy recovery to that. Another thing I didn't really get into too much. I tried to. Like I said, I mean, y'all saw the name of the last podcast. I don't know what I'm doing. And it was because the last 10, 12 minutes, I want to say, of the audio, it looked like was just completely dead. And I take full blame for that. I take full blame for that because I'll tell y'all the honest to God truth on what happened. The desktop audio was on, but my microphone was muted. I had just figured out how to play the music without playing the music through the microphone. And I muted the microphone and forgot to turn the motherfucker back on. So that's why the last 10, 12 minutes of the podcast, you guys just were looking at me mumbling my mouth with no words coming out. I was talking, just you motherfuckers wasn't being able to listen. But moving right along, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are supposedly preparing to divorce. And my only thing is, when I first saw this a couple of days ago, I was kind of on the teeter-totter with it for the simple fact that, okay, the last few times we heard about them separating or divorcing or breaking up and all this, that, and the third, a new album, video, whatever have you, her books or her becoming a lawyer, so many different things, or him turning gospel rap. So many things are being promoted around this talk of divorce and separation. So I'm only saying to myself now, are we about to get another new Kanye West album? I'm not saying, prayers out to Kim and Kanye and their family. I hope they work things out as usual. But it just seems like it's more, when Kanye is in the media for something, it's usually because he's promoting something without him saying he's promoting something. And then there's another take on this, because it's been rumors circulating around about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's former brother, but now known enemy, Drake. There has been circulated rumors highly about a so-called fling, allegedly, that might have happened between Kim Kardashian and Drake. We have no confirmed information except for lyrics that have hinted at something has happened between the two. That's all we really have. But we have songs like Sicko Mode, You Can't Escape From, unfortunately. You have like the Heady One freestyles that Drake has done. It's very known that these two are not on the same page like they used to be, and Drake supposedly has more information than he is letting out. Reason why I say that is because you wouldn't be able to write whole songs and freestyles about this particular situation so many times, repeatedly, consistently like this, unless you had some information that Kanye is also scared of. Because I've noticed that Kanye is more apologetic and quiet towards Drake than he usually would be anybody else. So that just tells me that there is something underlying there. In general, there's something underlying within that Kardashian West household. Some of y'all remember when Kanye when the second time, I would say, he actually was doing a concert and he got rushed away to the hospital, and basically put him in a straitjacket, calling him crazy. We've been calling Kanye crazy since he walked in the door at College Dropout. We've been calling Kanye West crazy. We've seen Kanye West is crazy at the MTV Awards. We've seen Kanye West is crazy even in the past of George Bush doesn't like black people. People call him crazy for that, even though we all know the truth about George Bush and that Bush family. Anyway, Kanye West has always been seen as the bad guy, unfortunately. And if anything, just more misunderstood than everybody, in my opinion. I do think that with there being something going on in that household in general that a lot of us just aren't privy to behind the scenes business wise, it's hard to gauge that this is something serious right now at the moment. But I'm seeing a lot of Kim Kardashian in the news and anything. So I don't think this is necessarily, I don't know for sure this is necessarily Kanye promoting something as much as Kim may just very well be done with being attached to Kanye West craziness, and she's trying to dismiss herself from this to move forward in her career and her life with being a lawyer now for prison reform. That's a big possibility also. I'm not putting that past it because that could be very well a good reason to, not necessarily good reason, but a reasonable thing to do as far as detaching yourself from someone that keeps your name involved with just a bunch of bullshit and craziness happening. Because before Kim Kardashian's name was attached to just the Ray J situation, and after the Ray J situation, her name was just attached to business. Then and of course the reality show and other bullshit that was going on with that and the dramas of that. But it never was necessarily a situation where her marriage kept getting put in the limelight and dismissed as just craziness. So prayers out to the Kardashian Wests. I do hope they do get things together, if anything. But moving right along, another interesting thing. My wife was talking about a friend that she knows. And this particular friend, I didn't know women could actually get this. I honestly didn't. She actually got a Charlie horse in her pussy. She had cramps. And I dismissed it as an STD, of course, being ignorant. But no, it's supposedly her friend had recent repeated sex and her shit started cramping. So, I mean, I look at it as like you just catch some Charlie pussy every now and then. Women catch Charlie pussy. You get a Charlie horse down there and the shit goes all the way up your body. Just like when you catch a Charlie horse in the middle of your sleep and you feel that shit all the way up your body and just give you this crazy intense pain at one time, but it's really just your leg falling asleep on you. I guess that's a thing. I had no idea that was even possible until she let me know about that. Yeah, see, I'm looking up here. Vaginal cramps, they can occur as the uterus contracts to shed the uterine lining. Women, of course, y'all know what that means more than I do. Although cramps higher up in the pelvis are more common, it is not usual to feel cramping in the vagina as well. While doctors would expect some mild cramping during menstruation, I would guess that's the menstrual cycle they go through, or severe pelvic pain and bleeding, it's not typical period symptoms. So Like I said, I guess the like I said, Charlie pussy is a very real thing. It's a rare thing, but it can occur. So just FYI, fellas, if your girl says she's cramping down there, it might not necessarily mean she just fucked somebody else 5 minutes ago. It means when she fucked you the other night or last night, her shit still actually hurting. So actually look at that as a compliment when she says her shit is cramping sometimes. All right, just FYI for y'all some out there. I think we're gonna get into some other news that happened recently. Bear with me 1 second. Sounds like my wife just got back too. I'll be honest, this might be like a two-parter today too. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not really too much going on out there right now, except for everyone talking about what happened at the Capitol. And I mean, I spoke about that earlier. But other than that, I think that's really so far that because I just spoke to you guys just the other day. Like I told y'all, I do have other shit that I gotta get to, so we not gonna have this as be a short podcast, but we're gonna actually get into some other music as well. I do wanna see if I can find somebody real quick. Oh, I guess I could not find him. Yeah, I was looking for my boy Artillery the God on Spotify. I think I might have spelled the name wrong, but Artillery definitely sent me some stuff. So I did want to play your music on the podcast. I'll probably just message him later just to let him know that I do need some stuff to play on here. Just to make things because I do want to start promoting other artists on here. We're gonna have artist interviews in the future, of course. We're definitely gonna do that. I'm gonna attempt to get my wife on here for Q&A for the ladies that do want some advice out there. Also, I'm pretty sure a female aspect. Y'all don't want to just hear the men's locker room all the time. Y'all want to hear a female's aspect on things too. I'm sure. And yeah, man, it's 2021 and the world is already going to shit again. We just pray it's not going to be like how 2020 was. Um, I'm not necessarily going to get into the whole Eminem and Snoop Dogg beef. Cause I'm not clear on exactly why they're beefing, other than the core, um, the core that passed. And the reason why I said the core that passed is because of Dr. Dre being in the middle of that. If you think about it, you also have Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was the original one that Dr. Dre was working with. Y'all remember how much Snoop and Dre have still always been together, mind you. But you guys remember how tight Snoop and Dre were, to where that was mainly Dre's artists. Then we noticed Eminem come along, and I think around that similar time, we're close to around the time that the Marshall Mathers LP had came out, Eminem's second album. You guys know that Snoop was also with No Limit. So I kind of wondered if that had something to do with it also, where Eminem more so took over what Snoop's position was. And then if you really look at it, you hear Eminem always say and salute Snoop Dogg as his all-time number one favorite rapper. I sometimes think of that as, did Eminem sort of jack Snoop's rhyme style and make it his own thing, and that kind of, because Eminem's rhyme style was completely different in the beginning. It didn't really have a cadence to it. It was just him being able to rap fast with words. It didn't necessarily have the rhythmic part to it and the flow pattern to it, similar to a Snoop Dogg. If you listen to a lot of Eminem stuff when he first got with Dr. Dre, you could see the transition that Eminem was making. Of course, you can dismiss it as Eminem was just learning himself as an artist, but you can also see where a lot of that stuff was more taught than it was him just having that natural song making ability. The whole sleepy flow cadence with the hooks, that was all originally Snoop Dogg. Everyone knows that. But when we're hearing it from a Caucasian voice, I'm not talking about race, but when we're hearing it from a Caucasian voice, it sounds new and intriguing to people, of course. So it just seems like that light was a little bit taken from Snoop Dogg because, like I said, we're seeing a new white face rapping that's this good. Whereas we look at Snoop like, oh, he's just naturally gifted. You know what I mean? It's the double standard kicking in. And I wonder if Snoop's beef correlates from that early beginnings of Eminem and him blowing up and being a huge success, more so with Snoop's style. Now, Snoop, of course, is a household name. Your grandmama's grandmama knows Snoop Dogg. We're not saying Snoop Dogg's not successful, but Snoop Dogg isn't seen in that top 10 greatest of all time rappers conversation the way Eminem is. And like I said, for you to hear Eminem and others salute Snoop in the top greatest of all time conversation, but not in the top 5 or top 10, the way Eminem has been celebrated for the past decade. And I think, like I said, there's a very big underlining with that whole thing. But I do hope that they get their differences worked out. If anybody, and I do mean anybody, I didn't necessarily want to see Snoop Dogg versus DMX because I had a feeling that was going to be one of those. See, it's almost similar to Jada and Fab. Jada doesn't necessarily have the Billboard hits, but he has the streets. Snoop Dogg has the Billboard hits. He also has the streets, but when we're talking about compared to DMX, same way Fab has the streets too, but not compared to a Jadakiss, in a sense. You guys, you real hip hop and rap heads know what I'm talking about. So I didn't necessarily want to see a Snoop Dogg versus DMX. I would rather have seen Snoop Dogg versus Eminem. Like, I'm still waiting to see who they're actually going to pair Eminem up with in a versus. Because let's not get it misconstrued. Eminem has hit records, but Eminem also has more of those epic rap moments that we have from him. So it's going to be interesting to see who he pairs up with as far as who was just as good as him lyrically. Because we all know M could really fucking rap. He really can rap. For him to still keep going this long and still, like I said, be discussed in that top conversation of top 5, top 10 rappers of all time. We can take away from the whole it's just because he's white thing. We can just erase that from the conversation nowadays. I don't know why that's still in the conversation, because there's a lot of white rappers that can't do half of the syllable flipping that Eminem does. Point blank, period. So moving right along. I'm seeing here now, Casanova, he raised about 2.5 million in bail, trying to get himself out. But well, no, fans basically have raised 2.5 million to get Casanova out of jail. I don't think people understand the magnitude, unfortunately, that case is. Casanova might be having to sit down for quite some time. And reason why I thought he went to jail for the stuff that they're charging him for, but it's I see why they said that the courts used the Vlad TV interview. First of all, rappers should know this ahead of time. You don't go on any, and I do mean any. You don't go on any interview, vlog, whatever have you. You don't go on any of those platforms and just divulge information voluntarily that you know can incriminate you, regardless if you've been to jail and came out already and you're saying to yourself, okay, I got the statute of limitation. I went to jail for this already. You can't rely on that. You cannot when you are playing with the feds. Because the feds, if they haven't gotten you, they are still looking to get you. Cass seems to think he's done the time for the supposed racketeering, allegedly, that he's being charged with. And if he is accessory to the actual camp that has kept it ongoing, and he is also spoke out about who he's affiliated with, and then you use words like co-defendant. When you say words like co-defendant, you are already using terminology, of course, the feds know. So I'm pretty sure they looked up who his actual co-defendant was and started to tap in and follow who that was. Because I'm pretty sure his co-defendant is not as huge a name as Casanova is. So when you start following down a certain line of information and then you get to where you're trying to get this person to be found guilty and confirm it, there's obviously something that the feds have over Casanova that, of course, Casanova is privy to now, but we're not privy to. I'm pretty sure the feds have something over Cass's head that even this $2.5 million bail is not getting this man out of jail. And that's just the end all be all, unfortunately. I was rooting for Casanova, hoping that he would stay out of jail. But unfortunately, he is in a situation to where he's going to have to sit down for a little bit again, unfortunately. I don't think they're going to give him football numbers. I really hope they don't, but you know how the feds play. They play long term. So I really hope they don't give him football numbers for the alleged accessory that he's in. Mind you, I keep saying accessory because there's no confirmation that he was actually like the kingpin or the main person orchestrating anything that was going down as far as criminal activity. He's just a known affiliate, which makes him just accessory to whatever is going on. But whatever is going on is obviously a big ring of racketeering that they're trying to shut down. Because you see how hard they went with the Tekashi 6ix9ine and him being an informant, which is another thing that was brought to my attention. The funny how this is also racketeering charges, and Tekashi 6ix9ine was also involved in racketeering charges. There's words circulating around that Tekashi 6ix9ine was an informant. I do believe he is an informant. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Ebro in the morning, shout out to Ebro from Hot 97, actually brought that to the light also. That he was a Crip. He was posing as a Crip to take down gang activity before he became a so-called Blood and King of New York with Shotty. So for him to bring down that criminal organization, and then we hear, and it was because of racketeering, then we hear not even I want to say 5 or 6. No, I want to say about what Takashi's been out. What, 4 or 5 months now? Maybe. And we're already putting another gentleman that he had supposed beef with for the same charges, almost. We're just putting two and two together here, folks. Just putting two and two together here. But yeah, man. I do hope the year presents more good things than bad right now, because it's just all from the chaos at the Capitol to COVID. I think they're saying we're back at phase 1 with things. It's just, there's a lot going on, man. COVID has shut down a lot of things going on. I want to go to the fucking movies. I don't know about everybody else, but I want to go back to the movies. I want to be able to go get some popcorn, chill, eat some nachos or something like that, and cheese. I can't do it. Godzilla vs. Kong is set to come out. I can't go see that. It's a lot of bullshit, man. But also want to shout out to President Joe Biden. I noticed they're not putting President Trump necessarily in the things no more. It just says, excuse me, it just says Trump, because his ass ain't the president no more. He's not. No matter how y'all want to crack this egg, Trump ain't president. Biden is the new president of the United States. And for right now, I don't necessarily have too much else for y'all. So like I said, this is probably going to be a 2-parter podcast today. Hopefully I do have more time to get another 30 or 40 minutes into y'all. But my wife do want to spend some time with me before I head out, because I do have to leave here. It's 11 o'clock now. I gotta be somewhere at 1:30, so I gotta start getting moving. I unfortunately can't give y'all like an hour and a half like I would like to at the moment. But in case I don't come back today, y'all might see me again tomorrow for like another 30 or 40 minutes, and we'll wrap it up and chop it up. I do want to get the fellas on here from IG that be in the chat. Shout out to Rob, Marl, Robbie Mack, of course. God bless my brothers. I do want to get them on the podcast one of these days. It's kind of early in the morning now. I know they're not going to be available, so. And like I said, I'm going to get my wife on here, even if I got to pull her arm for some Q&A. But yeah, man. God bless to all of you. Prayers out to all of you. Everyone stay safe. If you can, just stay the fuck home. There are things you can do at home. There are a lot of things. Video games doesn't have to be one of them. You can do this. You can find more about yourself. Find more about your kids. Do some soul searching. Work out. Get yourself educated. We live in the information era that lacks information. It's the Google era. And no one utilizes it the way they're supposed to. And I advise everyone start using it the way they're supposed to before information is banned and you're not able to actually seek it. But that's just my take on that, man. It's your boy Chill Murray. This was episode 2, live from the spot. Peace.